Get ready to grow bigger arms by calisthenics using your own body weight. We're also going to show the weighted variations targeting the same muscles. Don't worry, if you're training at home with resistance bands, you're not going to miss out either. It's only right we start with everyone's favourite arm muscle, the biceps. The dumbbell curl is a classic exercise passed down from generation to generation. Here's a few key techniques which is going to guarantee successful curls and bigger guns. Firstly, be realistic with how heavy you go. It's only elbow flexion after all. A sign you've chosen the right weight for you is achieving a solid bicep pump after every set. Now, to keep the form extra strict, doing the curls seated is a good choice. Sitting down makes it harder to use body English and swing the weights up. You're more likely to get a direct bicep stimulus this way compared to standing. Cheating is minimized and gains maximized. For full range of motion curls, a tricep contraction at the bottom is perfect. This elbow straight bottom fully stretches the bicep and sets consistent form standards rep to rep and workout to workout. For my home workout family doing it ghetto style with bands, we're not going to forget about you today. Choose a band which is challenging enough and a setup which is safe and repeatable. Stretch, squeeze, use a full range of motion and apply the mind-muscle connection to make gains with what you've got. Calisthenics muscle isolation is best done using rings for versatility. Although not a perfectly identical substitute, especially for the previous exercises, we're still stressing the primary function of the biceps. Bodyweight curls are going to remain challenging and effective for a long time. Enjoy. The hammer curl grip is a less popular but still a very useful arm developing exercise. Take a neutral grip and perform bicep curls with all the cues covered earlier on. Most of our general strength training involves the hands pronated or supinated. Isolating the biceps in this position is a good way of developing commonly neglected forearm and upper arm muscles. Not only are you going to grow, but you'll also develop a body which has greater resilience to injury through enhanced symmetry. Using bands for hammer curls is definitely possible too. Simply keep a neutral grip. Make sure there is adequate tension on the band so the entire range of motion feels tough. The advantage of neutral grip hammer curls is that the other arm muscles also grow too. Do you see that forearm muscle poking out? That's the brachioradialis. Also nestled comfortably between the tricep and bicep is the brachialis. A great way to stress neutral grip elbow flexion using our body weight is with the Australian pull-up. Increase exercise difficulty with calisthenics by positioning the body closer to horizontal. Doing so forces the arms to work much harder as they now have to lift more body mass. Although rows aren't pure isolation like the earlier exercises, the capacity for long-term overload is a worthy consideration. For those looking to really focus on the mind-muscle connection, unilateral or one arm at a time is the way to go. Horizontal pulling is an enjoyable way to train the arms. I know these are going to remain a part of your training in some way for life. Let's move onward to another arm exercise you may not have tried before. Get yourself set up on a bench at a 45-degree angle with a pair of dumbbells. The decline places the shoulder into further extension relative to the body. The bicep is now under a serious stretch at the bottom. This makes initiating a curl much harder. Be prepared to lighten your weights. This is because the bicep is contracting from a more mechanically disadvantaged position. You might be wondering, fitness FAQs, what's the point? This is just getting a bit fancy, mate. Why not just curl, bruh? Injury prevention and performance, in addition to bigger arms, is the smarter way to train. Check it out. In the world of calisthenics, exercises like back levers are highly stressful to the elbow and bicep complex. As cool as these skills are to perform and train, we have to keep the body safe first and foremost. Progressive back lever training and specific bicep conditioning is a winning calisthenics combination. Take a look at what I mean with the shoulder extended curl using bands. The arms stay behind the body much like in a back lever. Stressing and strengthening the biceps in this position is going to mitigate potential injury risk on the bodyweight skill. Those of you interested in the aesthetic component get to train the arms with lighter relative loads. Additionally, because we're using a massive range of motion with a huge end range stretch, hypertrophy gains are enjoyed all around. Don't forget, the best arm exercise depends on you as a person and what you want from it. More specific for team calisthenics would have to be the pelican curl. It's easier said than done, but really strive to get full elbow extension at the bottom. Bodyweight loading plus scapular movement plus full range bicep conditioning. Win, win, win. This is going to be humblingly difficult, if not impossible, for most people. Here's an alternative that you can experiment with. Calisthenics 101 suggests the eccentric or lowering phase is a perfect stepping stone. Start in a push-up and then lower down slowly with control to the bottom. Return to the start and repeat for reps, and before long, you're going to be rising back up with your newfound bicep strength. Complete arm growth is only possible by smashing the triceps directly. Let's kick off the triceps section with the weighted skull crusher. The shoulder extended position relative to gravity means my measly 15 kilos feels like a boulder. You'll notice I'm getting a full bend in the elbow. This is very important. Complete range of motion matters for getting a maximum contraction from start to end. More importantly for you guys, it's about elbow health and avoiding injury. Many people complain of pain during these. Generally, it boils down to going too heavy or cutting range of motion short. If you're doing everything right but still having issues, consider a more accommodating alternative. Banded overhead tricep extensions. Easier on the elbows, but still heavy on the triceps. The advantage of the band here is you can see we are not fixed and are free to move. The elbow joint irritation, which can happen with barbells, should not be a problem. If you're not feeling this one and want to see what this calisthenics business is all about, you're in for a treat. Ring tricep extensions are a bodyweight community favorite, and for good reason. The core is trained, each arm is independently stressed, and the rings move freely, which drastically reduces elbow or shoulder issues. These are a go-to arm finisher, especially on your upper body push day. Arm growth is inevitable. The long head of the tricep is also nicely targeted with the kickback. Keep the shoulders extended and purely bend and extend the arm. The elbow needs to stay up and remain parallel to the body. The contraction you're going to feel is pretty intense. Kickbacks are perfect for home training because you don't need to go heavy or care about feeling weak. The band tricep kickback is a variation which is equally as humbling. Play around with the band thickness and tension to get it just right. Hand placement is also a personal preference. Palms down or palms up doesn't make a notable difference. You might be wondering, why are these so damn hard? Well, it's because the long head of the tricep attaches to the scapula and humerus. Because the muscle is performing a function at two joints at the same time, cramps, they're a normal experience. Finishing up, the best bodyweight equivalent for kickbacks are tricep dips. The key technique for arm gains is thrusting the body forwards at the lockout. This relative movement of the torso and arms gives the long head some extra attention and intensity. This modification on the way up somewhat replicates the shoulder extension component of kickbacks. Otherwise, you know the drill with dips. Go deep within reason and train hard. Alright everyone, I hope today's tutorial has armed you with some wisdom. For more help with calisthenics, go to fitnessfaqs.com and get your training programs. Take care legends, and I'll see you next video.